and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Vakil. We have seen the benchmarks turn to a certain extent today's day of trade, and the Nifty has reclaimed 11,000. We have seen gains of nearly 78 points at this point in time, and that perhaps can be taken as a positive. So it's a good start to the week. What are the big gainers today? Yes Bank advancing by around 9.4%. That's followed by Hindalco, Indiabulls Housing Finance, and TCS. Well, lending strength. Tata Consultancy Service up 3.3%, and we have gains in SBI, HDFC, as well as ICICI Bank. So a lot of heavy weights out here. Well, lending support to the benchmark indices. On the losing end, some weakness in Bharti Airtel, Hindustan Petroleum, along with Axis Bank and Ultratech Cement, all declining by 3%. In the broader markets too, the advanced decline ratio has improved with one gain of one loser. On the NSE 500, Lakshmi Vilas Bank advances by 19%, followed by RNFS Transportation. We have Diwan Housing Finance also making a little bit of a recovery, now above the mark of 300, and well, that's up 15%. Infibeam Avenue also making a recovery, up 14%, after making a intraday low of moving below the mark of 50 per share. On the losing end, we do have Bandhan Bank, J Kumar Infra Projects, and PC Jeweler. Of course, don't forget Philips Carbon and Rupan Company are among the other stocks which are bearing down on the broader markets. But what about the technicals, and what levels can we watch out for? This is what our technical analysts are telling us about the levels. Listen in. Okay, so we do have some weakness there as far as, or rather the strength there as far as your Nifty is concerned. But we have Somit Sarkar now joining us to give us an idea about the aviation sector. So Somit, what do you have for us?
So Indigo, Jet Airways, SpiceJet all were down in trade today, and that was after Indian Oil Corporation came out and said that they have hiked the aviation turbine fuel prices for the third consecutive month, and then for the month of October they have hiked it by around 7% to close to 76,000 rupees per kiloliter. Now this is a third consecutive hike done by Indian Oil Corporation when it comes to aviation turbine fuel, and the prices are now at near its 5-year high. And this hike in prices is purely on the back of weaker rupee and higher crude prices. That is what Indian Oil Corporation said. Now for ATF accounts for nearly 1/3 of the total cost for an aviation company, and you can clearly understand from this that there would be pressure in the EBITDA margins of the company because of higher fuel costs going forward in the third quarter of financial year 2018.
Okay, Samad, thank you for joining us and taking us through the update on the aviation sector. The other factor that we need to discuss is Vakrangi. Considering the fact that we understand Ministry of Corporate Affairs has ordered an inspection of its books for the last 3 years, and the scope of inspection will be the resignation of Pricewaterhouse's auditors, income tax assessment order, as well as tax audit report for the last 5 years, and the number of Vakrangi Kendras which are located in India, and the deposit amount collected from the franchisees. So we keep an eye on that one. I'm sure we will have a host of details come out from this inspection, as the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has ordered when it comes to Vakrangi, which has of course corrected quite substantially on a year-to-date basis. And finally, let's talk about the auto sector, because we've started getting the auto numbers and the auto volumes for the month go by, and we have Yatin Mota joining us to give us an update with the same. Yatin.
Well, Agam, I would say it was a mixed kind of number which was reported by few of the listed companies. Of course, a few of them will be reporting the numbers today evening and tomorrow. But what important numbers that we need to discuss is first with Ashok Leyland. They have reported almost a 26% growth in their commercial vehicle sales. Of course, that is led due to the fact that the light commercial vehicle sales were up 44% and the heavy truck sales were up nearly 21%. So good numbers for Ashok Leyland versus the analyst expectations and the market expectations. Maruti Suzuki, of course, this time after many months we have seen flattish kind of a growth trend. In fact, this time the total sales for Maruti were at 1.62 lakh units versus a level of 1.63 lakh units, down nearly 0.5% year on year. A couple of factors to watch here is the exports during this month were down 25%, and not only that, last year same time we had the Navratri festive season because obviously the base was also high. So not only the festive season lag, but also the weaker exports weighed in on Maruti Suzuki's growth number. And Bajaj Auto, of course, two-wheeler sales 17% up on a total basis. Of course, this was due to the mix of domestic sales, which are up 11%, and export growth, which grew at a strong 30% on a year-on-year basis. Of course, others include M&M and Escorts, which reported numbers in line with expectations. But these were the three big numbers which reported, better numbers. Ex-Maruti, most of the numbers were better than the street expectations.
Okay, Yatin, thank you for joining us and getting us those details. Of course, there will be still a few auto companies which will still report their numbers, so we'll watch out for that. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the Market Wrap. Losma lined up. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.